There we go. What's up, Storm Chasers? We have a Caleb Wilson. Wow. We have a Caleb Wilson update. If you guys do not know, Caleb Wilson was the Omega Psi Phi pledgee, because I think that's the correct term for it, who was a victim of a hazing death. Originally, the Omega brothers said that, he just magically collapsed. Then we later found out that he was actually punched in the chest and then had a seizure, was dropped off at the ER, and then that was that. Now we have another update that apparently the warehouse that Caleb was killed in, just call it what it is, belonged to a senior Omega Psi Phi member. It literally belonged to a legacy member. So we're going to go ahead and pull this up. We're going to go ahead and get right into this article.
Second, Liz here with you first from
live and local from WAFB. This is 9 News at 6.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg and Liz here with you. First from our WAFB I-team tonight, the warehouse where Southern University student Caleb Wilson collapsed and died following that fraternity ritual is co-rented by a Baton Rouge elected official. That official is Metro Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr.
He told the I-team today he had no idea the place was involved until we told him about it. Chief Investigator Chris Nakamoto broke these details today on the 9 News app. He joins us now with more on what he learned and the latest in the investigation. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Liz and Greg. District Attorney Hiller Moore says a number of individuals who were present the night Caleb Wilson collapsed and died have been interviewed by detectives, and more were interviewed today. Tonight, the I-team went looking for answers at the last place where Caleb Wilson was seen alive.
Tucked away off Greenville Springs Road, this unassuming large white building is the warehouse where sources say Caleb Wilson collapsed and had a seizure after getting punched in the chest during an unsanctioned off-campus fraternity ritual for Omega Psi Phi. The building bears the name Runner's Courier and California Hardwood on the front door. A number of other workers pointed us to that location.
Ooh, isn't it something how they're specifying an off-campus unsanctioned ritual? Yeah, well, fraternities, they do rituals. They do. Fraternities and sororities, they do rituals. That's what it is, right? But you see how they say off-campus to try to absolve Southern University. I don't know why I start sneezing all of a sudden. Southern University from any liability, unsanctioned to try to absolve Omega Psi Phi from any responsibility. That's interesting. That's interesting.
After seeing detectives floating around and asking questions this week as the investigation plays out.
We want everyone that has any knowledge to come forward. Surely we have several pledges that were there that are not implicated in any criminal wrongdoing to my knowledge. We need them to come forward and tell us what happened. Anybody that has knowledge about anyone being complicit at all in this case, we want the truth. We want it for the parents.
While police investigate, Southern also opened a hazing investigation. Hazing is illegal in the state of Louisiana, and our hazing laws were beefed up following the death of LSU student Max Groover. In 2017, Groover drank himself to death at a fraternity house.
Wow.
In the wake of his death in 2018, the Louisiana legislature passed the Max Groover Act, instituting statewide hazing definitions and penalties.
So the act of hazing itself, I want to make sure y'all understand, the act of hazing itself in Louisiana is illegal, which means whoever is found to be responsible, they are fucked. They're done. There's no getting around this because any hazing act, any of it is illegal. It'd be a little different if there were no laws covering this. I wonder if anybody will speak up as well. That's what I want to know. Sun said the House and some leaders knew to. No, Southern is still responsible. Yep, the plan was hatched somewhere on campus. Period. Please explain what hazing is. Well, let's go to Google. I'll show you. Hazing definition. Hazing is any activity, regardless of a person's willingness to participate, that is expected of someone joining or participating in a group and that humiliates, degrades, abuses, or endangers them. So once again, whoever is found to be responsible, they are fucked. And they should probably, also for it, know whether you willingly do it or not. Because coercion and peer pressure is a real thing. So the law even covers that. So even if they say, oh, well, you know, we didn't make him do it. He could have walked out of the line. He could have said no. He didn't have to stay there. Don't matter. Whoever did this, they are done. And they better come forward now, because the longer they wait, the harsher that punishment gonna be. All right, let's get back to it.
"20-year-old Southern student Caleb Wilson was a member of the world-famous Human Jukebox and an engineering student. His life cut short last week, and sources say a cover-up ensued. Initially, fraternity members told police that Wilson Tuesday that was a lie.
Initially, it was told that they were at a brick park, and we learned yesterday that that wasn't the case whatsoever. They were actually at a warehouse. Obstructions also possibly on the table for this.
So yeah, that would really be dependent on what a witness actually said. So I don't want to comment on what witnesses said or didn't say, but surely there is the possibility that someone obstructed or attempted to obstruct justice, and maybe more than one way than others.
But they were never at that park to begin with.
Correct. To our knowledge, there was never any park involved whatsoever in this case at all.
The I-team connected the dots between the warehouse and two of the men renting space at the warehouse. Councilman Cleve Dunn is one of them. He told me, "The fact that I had to find out from you, I should have gotten a call." He went on to say, "I'm very disappointed, and I had no idea this happened at the warehouse space that I subleased."
All right, now Councilman Cleve Dunn Jr., we're going to go over to his Facebook shortly. He's an Omega Psi Phi member. Y'all see how these dots are slowly connecting? First off, the Omega Psi Phi chapter at Southern University should be banned indefinitely. The fraternity should be held financially responsible. Whoever did it should be held financially responsible and criminally. I've been trolling the frat on X, as you should. Oh yeah, but they trying to come up with a plan right now. They trying to come up with a plan right now. They trying to figure out who's going to take the fall, because somebody got to take the fall. Listen, the boy's father is a sheriff. Yep. Now you got the councilman involved. They're done. They're done. Okay, so I looked up. I forgot who sent the super chat, but thank you for the super chat. They said look up Kappa Donut. And so we came right up, even under Urban Dictionary, Kappa Donut. During the pledging process of Kappa Alpha Psi, wasn't Kevin Samuels a Kappa? Scrollers of pledgees are forced by their big brothers to eat a donut off each other's dicks. This donut is called the Kappa Donut. To put in a sentence, remember when Big Brother Glitter made us do the Kappa Donut? Yeah, I still got the taste of my ace's pubes in my mouth. Listen, when you put it in the chat, I believed you. I believed you. Doesn't a lot of hazing include SA? For some groups, it does. For some groups, it does. For some, they force them to strip naked. For some, they give the big brother's head. They might play wet biscuit. Now I'm gonna explain to y'all what wet biscuit is, especially the white boys, because white boys, they play wet biscuit anyway. Okay, wet biscuit. Wet biscuit is when a group of sexually deprived men put a biscuit on the floor, stand in a circle around said biscuit, turn off the lights, and simultaneously start masturbating. The game can only be started when everyone's dick is flaccid. The last person to ejaculate on the biscuit has to eat said biscuit. All players must ejaculate. This game is usually played in remote locations such as hunting cabins, ice fishing huts, YMCA locker rooms, the Oval Office. You know what? Okay, somebody got a little funny with that, but you get the point. I've heard of rituals where the pledgees get penetrated, or sometimes they have sex with each other in front of the big brothers. I've heard of all kinds of stuff. You said Tiffany said, "What kind of itch is that?" Yeah, well, welcome to being a male. Males do all kinds of sexually depraved shit y'all don't even know, and then they marry y'all. That's wild. It's not straight. Let's say that. They don't give a damn. Them men go on to have wives, kids, all that shit. And this is just something that they keep between them. It ain't a lot of actually real straight people out here. I hate to fuck y'all head up with that. And it ain't just white folks shit. Black folks do it too. Black niggas do it too. So they do it for pleasure. It can be a humiliation thing, a degradation thing. It really boils down to homoeroticism. And especially because in society, men are not, at least in Western society, men are not really allowed socially to be intimate with one another. Okay, so let me explain. Like women compliment one another. Women hug each other. Women hold each other. Women have a lot of intimacy amongst themselves. Socially, men don't, right? So they have to find other ways to do it, which is called playing sports, fighting each other, wrestling with each other, gangbang, trains, shit like this, watching porn together, masturbating together. You know, I will say this though. Sometimes I sit back and I say, I think we all know a little bit too much about one another. Maybe we just all know too much about one another. But the men, I know y'all be like, well, damn, Storm, how can we suspect? I mean, on one hand, you can't, but I'll tell you this. Be careful of any man that is hypersexual. Yeah, mannerisms this, femininity that. But most niggas ain't got no daddies like that. They grow around their mamas and grandmamas and sisters, especially if they black. So that can get a little confusing. For niggas Southern, that can get a little confusing. Watch those men that are just, they can't get enough sex. They have to sleep with everything in sight. Men that are really, truly hypersexual at some point will hit a trans, hit one of the bros, do freaky deaky shit like this because they're hypersexual. And then they have to keep increasing the level of depravity. It's just like with corn. Start off just watching regular stuff, then it's, bukkake, then it's anime, then it's Japanese, then it's Brazilian, then it's BBWs, then it's BBWs in milk. So it's what it is. Here's another thing to keep in mind. It's hard for men to go back sexually. Let me look in the camera when I say this. It's hard for men to go back sexually. Just like it's hard for women to go back financially. Once women get exposed to a certain lifestyle, they don't want to, they can go back, but it's hard to go back. Once a man do some shit he ain't never done before and he like that shit, he gonna always want that shit. That is true. That is the truth. Now, whether he indulges in it or not, can you have self-control? Yes. But are you gonna always have a aching, burning desire for blah, blah, blah? Yeah. So if you give your terrible comparison, no, this is actually right on point. If you give your nigga a threesome, he gonna always want a threesome. You gonna get tired of doing it eventually, but he's gonna want to keep going. You eat his ass once, he gonna want you to keep eating his ass. And if you stop, he gonna find somebody to eat that ass. All right, let me go back.
Deepest condolences are extended to Caleb Wilson's family, and my wife and I are having discussions with our 2 daughters in college, friends and parents in this community about the importance of safety and social responsibility. Dunn put us in touch with Todd Smith, who also rents space there and is the owner of California Hardwood. Todd Smith tells me that his son is an Omega, and detectives came by asking questions this week. As all sides try to piece together what happened, leaders promise to get to the bottom of it for the sake of Wilson's grieving family and a community demanding answers.
Communicating with the parents is difficult because it's a very tragic thing where your son is supposed to go home with a black cap and gown, not in a black bag. But that's really hard for parents to accept, particularly this is a really good family that we're dealing with, a good kid, smart kid. Can't imagine the phone call that he received.
The initial autopsy for Wilson came back inconclusive. Further testing is being done to determine his exact cause of death. The fraternity members involved could face hazing charges all the way up to manslaughter charges, depending on what the investigation reveals. For the WAFBI team.
So I said I wanted to find who this Cleve Dunn Jr. person is. So I went over and found his Facebook, right? And he made a statement. He said, my deepest... wait, got a text. Who texted me? He said, my deepest condolences are to the Caleb Wilson family. My wife and I are having discussions with our 2 daughters in college, friends, and parents in this community about the importance of safety and social responsibility. What? Safety and social responsibility, but not calling out Omega Psi Phi for what they did. Why is nobody calling out this fraternity for what the fuck they did? I'm very disappointed that I had to find out from the media about this situation. I want to make it unequivocally clear that I am not a party to the official lease agreement between Heck Industries and Todd Smith / California Floors. My business rents a portion of the space for commercial purposes, and I have absolutely no involvement in or authority over the access granted to students or any activities related to Omega Psi Phi's use of the building. I am not it says he's not. Oh, they say he a member. Okay, he says I am not a member of Omega Psi Phi or any other Greek or Divine Nine organization. Well, sir, other news outlets said different. Other news outlets said different. So I will apologize and I'll change the title on this video. But I read in other articles that he was also a member of Omega Psi Phi. I didn't make that shit up. But now I'm sitting here wondering, did he denounce? Was he ever in court? That's what I'm saying. If he's not currently paying, he's technically not a member. Oh, that's what I was asking. Like, is he playing semantics? Because you know I play semantics. I ain't even realize that if he ain't paying dues still, it's a good point. This is a deeply sensitive and serious matter, and I extend my prayers to all involved, and most importantly to the young man who lost his life. Lost his life? You mean whose life was taken? They is scared of this organization. While I understand that my name being included in the story draws additional attention to an already tragic situation, it is important that the public know neither I, my family, nor my business condone hazing or any other illegal activity. Thank you, finally. I fully support a swift and thorough investigation, and I trust that justice will be served. That's interesting. So here's his Facebook page. All right, it said he studied business management at Southern U and A&M. Okay, so he did go to Southern University, but he says he's not a member. Okay, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Let me see something real quick. Okay. All right. So let's go down. All right. So I did want to show y'all this here.
As music filled the air, flames from candles burned while trying to withstand the wind. Tears fell from these young faces as they remember Caleb Wilson. Not a second, nor another minute. This candlelight vigil tonight, nearly 1 week after Wilson's death, this group lifting up his family during this tough time with love and support. His tearful father addressing the crowd.
I couldn't sit still. I just want to thank you all, the human jukebox. This is Caleb's life. You really love the jukebox.
Music was a love for the 20-year-old trumpet player. Friends gave him the nickname Cheese because of his smile and how he made others smile too.
His life does not die with himself, it dies with all of us. We have to make sure his life lives within all of us. And make sure you stand up tall like he's on your shoulders reaching for the sky.
Wilson was a junior studying.
Why ain't nobody cussing out and calling out this fraternity? Yeah.
Mechanical engineering when he died last Friday morning after collapsing during an off-campus fraternity ritual. He was reportedly participating in an alleged hazing incident with Omega Psi Phi. As students here come to grips with the law, Southern University just launched its student judiciary process for the alleged hazing. University officials tell me interviews with those involved are happening now. The timeline and dates for each interview may vary depending on the number of people they need to talk to. It's a process that could take 7 to 10 days for each person.
Woo! Oh, they grilling that ass. They grilling them 7 to 10 days of investigation on each person. Oh, they are grilling them. You know, they got them in that room. They got it recorded. Baby. Who threw the punch? That's all we need to know. But they ain't going to tell us. Because they facing negligent homicide.
And the fraternity's chapter. But for those still grieving,
with my arms outstretched.
All right, I'm gonna leave that there. Here goes some more pictures from the get together. This vigil. Sad. Lost his life for nothing. All frats end and incorporate. It's about the money. It's about the money. You're right. No more fraternity. Yeah, they can really shut it all down. I'm gonna be real with you. Let me see. Would y'all be interested if I did, like, if I dive deep into different hazing incidents? I need to get on my Candace Owens. I'm about to get on my Candace Owens because they hiding a whole lot. There's a lot they not saying. Yes, on the app though. Yeah. We're gonna put it on the app though. We'll release some of it to YouTube, but it'll be later. Y'all will get it first on the app. Yeah. Because y'all know how they like to. You already know. You already know how they like to do that. They can't do nothing when it's on the app though. They can't do nothing when it's on the app. Is it up? Yes, it's up, but it's actually not finished. Some people did go ahead and they're like they subscribe. But what you can do now is email me One True Whitney. Let me know. So what you can do is you can go to stormmonroetv.com and copy paste. You can put in your email so that you can get notifications when the site is officially ready. Thank you, Matoya. Because I don't know much about D9. I really don't. You said that needs to be looked into, period. Yes, it does. Be careful with storm because they serious about the secret. That's why it's going to be over there. That's why we're going to leave a lot of this over there. But over here, what I can do on YouTube, I can talk about the Boule in general, Freemasons in general. I can get general, but the specifics, yeah, we gotta leave that over there. We'll put bits and pieces on YouTube, but it's yeah. Matoya said, I know a lot. Perfect. Diamond C said, were you hazed to get into your frat? No, we didn't have no hazing. Because I would have been shouting from the mountaintops. Well, I had already told them they had one time to play with me. I was going to come shoot all that shit up. Okay, if it's not showing up on the App Store yet, just go to your browser, go to stormmonroetv.com. Yeah, I had got some PayPal notifications. I'm like, damn, did people like pay? I'm like oh my God. Like, damn, okay. I ain't mad at it. Sorority Life on MTV back in the day was enough to make me not want to join, period. It's not one of the black ones. I didn't join one of the black ones. Hey, thank you, Rose. Thank you. Let's see. You would have been crying. No, I was gonna come shoot they shit up. I told them that. I told them I'll shoot. That was not a secret. That was not a secret at all. But yeah, but I've been spiritually denounced that. When I really talk about like not knowing, like not really knowing what you're doing, I really wasn't aware of what I was doing. Storm, and talk about how the men and women are announcing for religious conflict. Yes, because you take an oath to something that you'll know what you're taking an oath to. And you technically you're not supposed to take an oath to anything. Nothing but God. The Most High, Yah. You're not supposed to be even like police officer. You're not really supposed to take that oath. You're not supposed to take no other oath. Just saying. Storm would have been looking like, what? Who go to hell? I was just gonna come shoot they shit up. That's all. We was gonna all have a bad day. I'm dead ass. I meant that shit. Are some of these fraternities and sororities demonic? Honestly, they are all either linked to Freemasonry or modeled after Freemasonry. That's any kind of gang group. We ain't even gonna talk about gangs because even in gangs, you pledge into an entity. So if it ain't directly tied to it, it's modeled after. So even the school system itself is modeled after Freemasonry. So yeah. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whether you know it or not. If I want to be okay, then say it, but then in your head be like, I don't know. Say it and then denounce it in your prayer closet. Yes, because the thing with Freemasonry is that should we go there? Let's go there. Okay. Allegedly, I got to do the research for myself, but allegedly, with Freemasonry, when you get to the 33rd degree level, you learn that the true God is Lucifer, the light bearer. So if you ain't a 33rd degree Mason, you ain't. And I'm not talking about your uncle that's a Mason in Cleveland, Ohio. And no. I'm talking about when you get all the way through. And even the rituals and the teachings and the lessons. Now, some of the lessons of Freemasonry, it's real, right? But it's just, they just co-opted the teachings of magic, so to speak, from Egyptian societies. That's it. And technically what you learn in Freemasonry, if the society was to burn down tomorrow and we had to start from scratch, Freemasons would know how to rebuild society from scratch, right? So those lessons are great. I won't say great because if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to believe in magic. But you really learn numerology. You really learn how this world works. You really learn how this shit works. Real math, actual math. I ain't even gonna talk to y'all about how science is magic in itself and alchemy. You learn all that. Because everything around you is based off of that. Whether you believe that shit or not, everything around you is based off of astrology, astronomy, alchemy, magic, sorcery. So they teach you that shit in there, right? But when you get to the 33rd, allegedly, that's when you learn the true God is Lucifer. The true light. And I don't know about Freemasonry, but I know with Luciferianism, and Satanism is a little different than Luciferianism, but basically what they teach is what Satanists and Luciferian, I'm not calling Freemasons, Satanists, or Luciferians, I know it's different sectors, right? But what they believe is the direct inverse of what Christians believe. So Christians are taught to follow Jesus. Luciferians are taught that Jesus is actually dark and that Lucifer is the true light. So, yeah. It's about finding out the sweet spot between spirituality and reality, yes, and not falling into the chasm of darkness. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, do as thou wilt. Yep. So we believe, if you're a Christian, you believe up is here, down is here, but they believe that no, actually you're lying, that this is up and this is down. But it's just all rituals from ancient Egypt. That's all. Freemasons are also taught that they are modern day pharaohs, so they consider themselves modern day gods of this earth. Even the celebrities, the public officials that's involved in that, they believe that they are gods, many gods, but like gods of this earth. And that they are to be worshipped by the general public. Oh, last pharaohs, my bad. You should really do deep dives on all this shit from the Rothschilds down. That's what the website is gonna be for. I'm getting back in my conspiracy bag for the website. All right, so I'm gonna leave this here. Y'all want me to come back and talk about Candy and Todd? I might take a little break, then come back and talk about Candy and Todd. They being sued. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I will catch you guys.
It's Storm Show.